Hi everyone, welcome back. So in the last part I finished up the forest temple. As you can see on the pause menu, I now have all of the medallions, which means I guess technically I am finished with the adult section, but there are still more things that I want to do as him, namely pretty much everything. I'm not going to become a kid again for the rest of this playthrough, except for one instance where I need it for a glitch, which we're going to see in this part. But before I do any of that, I'm going to have to get past the door time, and although you can get past it with like some pretty cool tricks like you can with a kid, you can do the same sort of thing as an adult. It's a lot harder, and I want to show off another way to do it, which is more technical and definitely easier to reproduce. And it also lets me do a bunch of other stuff. Now the first thing I want to point out is, if I go to Kakariko right now, the cutscene where the village is on fire is going to play, and you know, Sheikah's going to appear and teach me to not turn a shadow. I don't want any of that to happen, so I'm just going to super slide back to the forest, and I'm going to get there the long way through Goron City and Death Mountain. There's no real reason for this. I guess I could just edit the cutscene out, but I don't want to have to physically sit through it right now, so if I need to suffer, then we're all going to suffer. But it's okay, because I'm going to probably do some super slides and stuff, and I don't know, maybe there'll be stuff to show off along the way. But there is a lot of stuff that I want to show off in this video, and most of it is going to be related to like reverse bottle adventure, which we have seen already. I did it at the pond. It's where I use my bottle on the B button to write things to my inventory. I'm going to do that a couple times here with specific items on my C right button, because that's the thing which actually determines what you get in your inventory when you do RBA. So that should be pretty cool. So a little shortcut you can take in Goron City, which is going to make this a little more bearable to watch. You can just do this, and you can not be bad at it, which is not something I'm good at. Thank God that reached. Okay, you should always do it like next to the wall, because I think he grabs the wall if you do that. Yeah, just like that. Then again, I could be talking crap. Okay, so now I can finally leave this place. Don't really think there's much I want to show off in that place. So I'm going to head down to Kakariko. Fastest way to do that, I think, is to just go over here. And I need to make sure that I get in there when it's still daytime, so I'm going to go kind of fast here, but I think I've got plenty of time to waste anyway. So what I'm going to do in Kakariko is I'm going to start the adult trading sequence. Young Link has his own trading sequence. It starts with Zelda's letter, or really it starts with like the egg that Malin gives you. Adult Link has a similar start. He's going to get like a pocket cuckoo, and I'm actually going to need that for the first part of RBA, which I'm going to do. And as you see, I'm now in Kakariko Village, and the cutscene didn't play. That's because it only plays from the main entrance. If you come in through any of the other entrances, like through the graveyard or through Death Mountain, then the cutscene isn't going to start, which is good for me, because I really don't want to sit through it. So this woman who hasn't aged in the last 7 years is going to give us an egg. And after a whole day and the game has passed, the egg will hatch, and the chicken that comes out is what we're after. So after I have this, the next thing I need to do is make the egg hatch. Now, fortunately for another trick that I'm going to show off later, I'm going to need the Sun Song. So the quickest way to do that, I guess, is to just go and get it and play it. I'm going to cut all these plants along the way just in case any of them have bombs. I'm really good at controlling my guy right now. Navi is still telling me about the Deku Tree. I'm not going to actually listen to her, but you can take my word for it, that's what she's going to say. Okay, no bombs. That's no big deal. So, I'm going to need my fish ocarina. So, you know, as before, as the many times that I've done this glitch so far, I'm just going to empty it out, recatch it, and then when Link has the full bottle in his hand, I'm going to well in the air somehow via a backflip, or by jumping off the ledge in this case. I'm going to press the bottle button, then the sword button. If you do it like that, he actually does the sword slash and then lands, which is kind of neat. So So I'm just going to play Zelda's Lullaby, and that's going to let me get in here. So this song is pretty much useless for what I'm actually, I guess, accomplishing in this playthrough in terms of like getting all the stones and medallions in reverse dungeon order. But it is useful for one particular glitch. Although it's probably not worth it time-wise for me to actually get it, because the glitch is basically like a cutscene skip. But it's a really cool one, and I want to show it off because there's like some other ways you can do it as well. So anyway, if it would ever let me play again. Yeah, we're getting the 1.0 curse again, where he just like jumps over the ledge instead of falling right in. So in here, just got to kill all the keys. Fortunately, I remember where all of them are. He lied. Always seem to pick the wrong wall there. So a good way to get through this room with the re-deads is just to align yourself with the wall and just keep side hopping. And you should be able to get across all the poison stuff, and you should also be too fast that they won't be able to spook you. So that's great. You just read this thing, you'll get the Sun Song. You don't have to pull out your Ocarina again, which is nice. So when I learn this song, the game is automatically going to advance tonight, because the first time you play it still counts, and like it still counts as you actually playing the song, I guess, even though it's in a cutscene. So when I get out of here, I'm going to have to advance it to D just by playing the song again, and then my egg should hatch and I'll be ready to continue. I could play the Sun Song on the way back out of here and it would freeze all the re-deads, and that would make it a bit easier to get out, but that's lame. I'm just going to side hop again. Yeah, I'm way too fast for them. They can't keep up. So it's kind of weird to get that song as an adult. Normally it's something you would do as a kid near the start of the game. Maybe after you've like got the emerald or something. But it's totally possible to get it as an adult, so who cares. I guess I'm going to see if I can get some bombs here again, just before I leave this place. Oh, I did. That's perfect. I'm actually at full now. So let's get the fish ocarina out again. I'm pretty fast at playing some of these songs. After many years of trying to do it quickly, it's finally paying off because I get to show it off when I do that. So now I have the Pocket Cuckoo. I'm going to put this on C right because, as I showed before, C right is the important button to have things on when you're doing RBA, because that will determine what gets written to your inventory. So the next thing I have to do is head back to the lake. I don't have the warp song because I never went to the ice cavern and got the iron boots, so I'm going to have to super slide there, but that won't take long at all. And it's safe to exit through this exit. The cutscene will only play if you come in through this way. There's Epona, still there, still where I parked her. I don't think I'm ever going to use her for like the main part of this playthrough. There's definitely some stuff later on that she's going to be cool for. I'm going to show that off. But anyway, for now... I've gotten pretty consistent at those, which is nice. I mean, they're not really difficult at all if you're using 2 bombs, but still the timing can take a bit to get used to. I'm kind of sad that that pole over there didn't like follow me. Sometimes when they follow you, when you're super sliding, they actually keep up with your speed, which is hilarious, because they should never normally be that fast. I'm doing just like an infinite super slide right now. I'm holding the control stick just slightly to the right, and I'm holding Z or Z, and he's stuck like this. You can change angles during this, but it's pretty hard to do without pausing, which is what I'm going to do right now. So now he's going the other way, but I'm stuck by a fence anyway, so it doesn't matter. I can't get over it. Still not going to listen to Navi. No, we're almost at the lake anyway. I think this might be the last time that I'm going to do RBA for the main part of this playthrough. I think it's going to give me everything else that I'm going to need to actually finish this up, which is still going to be a little bit away, but yeah, there's definitely some other stuff that I can show off with RBA later on. And I really don't like it when it's nighttime, actually, because it's going to make this next glitch a little harder to see, so I'm going to actually advance it today, just so we can clearly see what's going on. So I guess I am putting that Sun song to good use, a song that normally is pretty useless. Okay, I take back what I said earlier about being good at playing the songs fast. It's a complete lie, I'm terrible at it. Also, I'm pretty sure the fish in the pond, like, they're more likely to bite your rod if it's just morning or just night, like if it's just during the transition. But that might just be a myth, I don't know. Anyway. So I'm going to try and do something cool here, just for the hell of it. You probably know that you can actually steal this guy's hat if you aim your rod just right, revealing his bald head, poor guy. And I am going to put on my hover boots, and I'm going to cast the rod. Not like that, that's not what I want to do. Like that. So I can walk around with the rod cast. This of course is the version 1.0 method of stealing the rod. If you want to do this in a different version, then check the video where I do that. And I'm going to run out here with his hat on the end of my rod. And it's now permanently gone from the game. Which I think you can achieve just as easily from like throwing it into the pond and then leaving, but it's much cooler to take it out yourself. So I'm going to pause after coming out of the water to get the Deku Stick on B. As you can see in here, I still have 0, which is crucial. So I'm going to do the Ocarina items glitch with the Deku Stick as the second button I press in order to get the bottle on B. Okay, now pay attention to Link's hands. As you can see, and I'll just demonstrate this on the pause menu as well, I still don't have any strength upgrade. It would be in between these two things if I had it. So like the Goron bracelet, the silver gauntlets, or the golden gauntlets, don't have any of them. But as soon as I press B here, he's wearing black gauntlets. These are one of the 4 secret gauntlets. I mean, I call them secret gauntlets. They're pretty much glitched gauntlets. But you can get them through RBA. There's a black one, a blue one, a green one, and a bronze one. The black one is the easiest to get. You just have to have the Pocket Cuckoo on C right and catch a fish in your bottle. And it also looks the coolest in my opinion, which is why I chose to get that. But as you can see now, I actually can pick things up. And it has the same power, all 4 of them actually have the same power as the golden gauntlets, so you're set for the rest of the game. So I'm just going to save to keep that. And yeah, you can see my inventory is a little screwed up. The silver scale, which I never had before, has moved up a slot. I've lost the golden scale. In fact, I'm pretty sure that silver scale isn't legit because it's in the wrong slot. Yeah, it's not, like, so I'm back to being able to, like, not dive at all, but that's not important anymore. I won't need to be able to dive. And obviously this thing on the bottom is like a money wallet or something, but it's like maybe a beta item or something because it's all in Japanese. I still can't equip my, or I can't select my quiver. Anyway, that's that done. I now have the strength upgrade for Link, and the next thing I want to do is I want to get something that's going to let me open the door of time as an adult. Unfortunately for us, the best way to do that, or rather the only way to do that, is with another item in the trading sequence. So I'm going to be careful not to do anything to lose my bottle on B right now. I want to make sure that I keep it, just so that I don't have to go back and get RBA again. Or rather, go back and start RBA again. The fact that I have the bottle on B means that I'm still doing the glitch right now. So I'm gonna once again head through the forest because I am a jackass that doesn't want to watch the cutscene. If this travelling is boring to watch, then I don't know, I guess I'll put some annotations or something saying where to jump to. But you can pretty clearly see Link's black gauntlets there, it's pretty cool. I'm not sure, yeah, I was at the wrong side of the fence. And I think I'm going to want my hook shot again. Make this a little quicker. So I mentioned that the next thing I'm going to do is open the Door of Time. I mentioned earlier in the video that you can actually get past the Door of Time as an adult using, I guess, a similar method to what you would use as a kid, in the sense that you clip through the corner, but it's a lot harder. That's not to say I can't do it, I can do it, but it's not really that interesting. We've already seen that sort of stuff as a kid, and I'd rather show off how to open it, I guess, legit, by using a glitch, by using RBA to give us the things that we need to open it. So anyway, just heading back through here again. In fact, I think, yeah, I'm going to show off another glitch actually. This is Mido. You're supposed to play Serious Song to get over him. You can actually just backflip over him. I'm pretty sure it works from this side. The idea is just going to see up mode, come out and then backflip. If you just do it at the right spot, you should pop right over him. Whatever it is, it's possible. You'll just have to take my word for it. I don't remember the angle you're supposed to use. So anyway, back in Goron City, a place where I should be able to get through a little more easily than that. Actually, there is something else I can show off over here. In fact, it's directly on my path this time. If I just pull out my Megaton hammer. In fact, I don't think I even need the hammer. In fact, yeah, that's what I'm trying to skip using. So there's like a Sculptula in this rock. You're supposed to use the... I didn't mean to do that. Well, I should still have, like... yeah, the Black Gauntlet, so we're fine. So I'm going to kill it with a bomb, actually. Because that won't blow up the rock, at least it shouldn't. So you can actually reach this with the hook shot if you just keep doing this. Eventually it should connect. There we go. So that's pretty cool, I guess. It skips having to open it with the Megaton hammer. So actually, I don't know if I need it to be morning right now. I know I need it to be morning to hand like the cuckoo back to the woman, but yeah, okay, whatever. Let's just play the sun song. I don't feel like waiting another couple minutes or seconds. Oh wait a minute, actually, it's already turning morning. We'll just wait. I didn't realize it was so close. Alright, let's go. So, I'm pretty much done with the Pocket Cuckoo now. I need to advance the trading sequence, and to do that you need to, I guess, make the thing happy by having it wake someone up. And fortunately, Talon, the lazy guy from the start of the game at Hyrule Castle, is right here, sleeping again. So I can just wake him up. Once again, you can see Link's black gauntlets very clearly in here. So that's neat. So giving this back to her, she'll give you the next cuckoo, the blue one, Kojiro, and you have to use him to get the next item, which I think is the odd mushroom. Yeah, it's the odd mushroom, and then you get the odd potion, and the odd potion is the thing that I want to use for RBA. So I'm going to make sure that I don't overwrite my B button by equipping the sword or by doing a save warp or something silly like that, so that I can quickly do RBA as soon as I get the thing. So as before, I can leave this way. As long as I don't enter this way, I'll be totally fine. And in fact, the place I want to go right now is the Lost Woods anyway, so I think this is actually the quickest way to get there. I'm kind of surprised that worked. I thought I rolled pretty late there, but not complaining at all. I hope these are still like interesting to watch, all these super slides, because I know the camera is like fixed behind Link. I guess I could do like a camera glitch and have it in front of him while he's super sliding. Maybe I'll try and do that the next time. So you can hear the cuckoo crowing in here. That's a sign that we're in the right spot if you didn't know that. If you're watching this playthrough, you probably already did know that. But I need to have something to say during these travel moments. So I think for the first time in this playthrough I'm going to head through this door and visit this guy. He used to be in Kakariko when you were a kid. He used to sit by the tree at the entrance during the night and talk about how filthy people are or something, I don't know. Now he's ran away to the Lost Woods. Okay, so for I think the third time now I'm going to head through Goron City, but that's fine. That's actually exactly where I want to go. Crap, did not mean to do that. Alright, well it doesn't matter. Actually doesn't matter. No, we're good. I'm just gonna leave that fish though, I don't wanna pick it up. Because it might like, when I pick it up, because it's in the bottle on B, it's gonna activate RBA again, and it might do something. I don't remember what the odd potion gives you. Or sorry, the odd mushroom. It's the odd potion that I want, so I'm just gonna head to Kakariko. That's why you shouldn't mash text too fast, because that might happen. Oh my god, dude. Come on, do you want to deliver this thing or not? Thank you. Yeah, the little Goron is rolling around right now, the one that gives you the Goron tunic that I never got and never needed. So you actually do have more than enough time here, but it's always good to be quick anyway, especially when this is, as I said, my third time doing this route. So you might be starting to wonder what all of this is even for. Like, why do I need to open the door of time and all that? Well, it's because the next glitch that I'm going to do after this is not reverse bottle adventure, but in fact normal bottle adventure, and that requires going through time. Here's a little shortcut you can take. Saves a little bit of time. And yeah, I need to have bottle adventure so that I can get a specific item on the B button as an adult, which is going to let me continue with this thing that I've set up, where I'm doing it in reverse dungeon order as an adult. So there's a little glitch with this place. You have to pull out the mushroom twice, or you won't read it otherwise. I think you can actually talk to her and then pull out the mushroom, and that works as well. Not sure. Anyway, I should have the odd potion now. And this is what I'm going to RBA next. And as soon as I get out of here, I will do that. But before I actually do it, I want to check in this grotto down here if there's like another fish. If Link would ever get in there, okay, thank you. There probably is. Yep, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to use this fish here to catch my B button, which, since I have the odd potion on C right, is going to affect things on this screen. So let's do that. Let's see what happened. I now have the Song of Time to open the door, despite, as you can see, not having the Ocarina of Time. And I also have these two. I don't have the Kokiri's Emerald, but that's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm still going to get these both legit. In fact, some of them may even get overwritten later with other RBA stuff. You know, they don't really count, I guess. I mean, they sort of do, but I want to get them legit anyway, because I want to show off everything. So I'm going to catch this fish again, just in case I need it later on. And I think there's like 20 rupees in this chest. I may as well pick it up. But I think I'm done with RBA for now. I've got everything that I need to get from it. I'm going to keep my fish on the B button. Wait, can I do that? I'm not sure. No, I think I need to actually go back to having a sword there. Or I could go and get the fairy ocarina. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go get the Fairy Ocarina. Because, like, the cutscene where you get it as an adult is pretty funny anyway. So I'm gonna go and do that. Totally pointless backwalk. So the reason that I need to either have the Fairy Ocarina or to not have a bottle on B is because there's no other way I'm going to be able to pull out an Ocarina in the Temple of Time, because all your items are disabled in there except for the B button, and you can't use the bottle as an Ocarina, unfortunately. I'm just going to backwalk. I think I'm getting pretty low on bombs, maybe like 14 or so left. Still plenty, but I'm not going to be able to easily get them back because I can't slash anything with my sword right now, so I'm just going to save them. So, I've been through here a couple times now in this video. The cutscene does not start when you enter through this door, which is nice. But when you enter through the other door at the other side of the bridge, it will start. So, at this late point in the game, I'm finally getting the Fairy Ocarina. I'm still never going to get the Ocarina of Time because the Fairy Ocarina is a lot cooler anyway. So yeah, once again we can see Link's black gauntlets nice and close. Here's Saria after she's like been in the Forest Temple and I guess died or whatever. I think that's like the implication for all of the sages, is that they like die in the temples they're in. That's why they go to the Chamber of the Sages. But anyway, here she is again. She's going to give me the Fairy Ocarina. And this cutscene isn't as long as I remember, but as we saw at the Spirit Temple cutscene when we got there as a kid, Link is sort of spazzing up and down to try and fit into place. So I thought it was worth showing off, because it's not actually that long of a cutscene. Yeah, there's not a lot to say right now. This is going on for quite a while. So let me think. I could save warp now back to the Temple of Time, but I'm slightly worried that that's going to do something to my B bottle. I know for a fact that on versions other than 1.0, if you save with something else on B, then it usually reverts back to like the Master Sword, or the B button ends up blank or something. On 1.0, I think you can get away with it, but I don't want to take any chances. And yeah, of course, this is the first time I've been into the field through this entrance, so we're now getting this cutscene as well. Fortunately, I don't think the owl is going to be there. It would be kind of funny if it like loaded the child version of the field though. And by funny I mean kind of irritating, because it would be hard to get over the drawbridge. So I'm going to do a super slide back because it's really, really far away and I'm very, very lazy. Right, let's try and do it like this. Okay, cool. That wasn't too bad. So now we can see where we're going. Slightly off target, but it's no problem because there's no drawbridge there when you're an adult. So I can just turn around like this and screw up my infinite super slide because the camera was behind me. That's okay. Alright, so back in the Temple of Time. Actually, yeah, there's one more thing I want to just show off, just for the sake of being thorough, I guess. If I head back to Ganon's castle really quickly, because it's on my path, I'm going to prove that these black gauntlets, and you can take my word for it that if you get the blue ones, the green ones, or the bronze ones, they will all be the same in terms of strength. I'm going to prove that this actually has the strength of the golden gauntlets by lifting up this large block in front of the fairy fountain where I learned the double defense thing a couple of videos ago. So yeah, it lets me pick it up, which automatically means that they are as powerful. So yeah, that was pretty pointless, I guess, but whatever, now we can put our minds at ease because we know that these gauntlets are maybe not legit in the conventional sense, but they do what you need them to do, so I am not complaining. So now I'm going to head back to the Temple of Time. I'm just watching the mini-map to know like where I'm going right now. So, okay. First thing I'm going to do is pull out this Ocarina. And, in fact, let me think. Okay, let's put the odd potion back there first so I can dump out this fish, because I am not going to need it anymore. In fact, I think I want my bottle to be empty right now. On B. And let me just make sure that didn't do anything bad. It did. Alright, whatever, let's recatch it. I need to have the Song of Time or else I can't open this thing. I should have it again. Yep, came back. And also the stones there changed. A minute ago it was Kokiri's Emerald and Zora's Sapphire. Now it's Goron's Ruby and Zora's Sapphire. So anyway, I can finally just play the normal Ocarina. And I can play the Song of Time. What's funny about this cutscene is if you were to like warp here, or do a save warp and come back to the Temple of Time that way and then play the cutscene, this whole thing would happen and, you know, no stones would come out of him just like it is right now, but the door wouldn't actually open. It would play all the music and everything as if it was going to open, but it wouldn't actually open. But because I entered through the main entrance, it will open. But it still doesn't show the stones going onto the thing, because I guess they're already there. The game just assumes that if you've made it to Adult Link, you must have all the stones and they must be placed on the altar. So finally the door of time is open. I think now is a good time to do it since I do have all the medallions. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is actually the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of this fish, because all it's going to do is get rid of the Song of Time and replace the Goron's Ruby with Kokiri Emerald. I'm just going to verify that. Yeah, that's fine. It didn't make any changes elsewhere, did it? Shit. Well, whatever. I can still use my fish Ocarina. So anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to carefully backwalk into this place. Sheik is over there. He's going to teach me the Prelude of Light. I do not want to sit through the cutscene, so there's a way you can skip it using the Sun Song. And I'm just going to verify that I still do have that. What the fuck? Why have I don't know. I don't know why I've got this stuff back again after letting the fish out. Anyway. I'm going to backflip, pull out my shield, and then do a neutral roll. If you pull out your shield, he does like a forward roll instead of a side roll. I'm going to do that a couple more times. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. And this time I'm going to pull out the Ocarina and play the Sun Song. So the Song is playing during the cutscene right now, and it's going to reset the timer and pull me straight out of it. And just like that, the cutscene has finished, and I've got the Prelude of Light. Brilliant. You can play other songs in there. If you try to play like a warp song, unfortunately the text from the cutscene starts before you can actually play the song, or before you're done playing it, before the option to warp away comes up. And because of that, you can't use it to get out. But it does cause the cutscene to glitch out, but it's not worth showing. The Sun Song thing was a lot cooler. So now I'm a kid again. The only reason I did this is so that I can pause the game and put this on my C right button. Because I've got an empty button, an empty bottle on my B button, sorry. If I put something on C right as a kid and then travel through time, I'll be able to change what goes on my B button. That's why it's Bottle Adventure instead of Reverse Bottle Adventure. Reverse Bottle Adventure is where, you know, what you do with your B button combined with what's on C right determines what's in your inventory. In this case, what you do on C right combined with what's in your inventory determines what's on your B button. So for this specific thing that I'm going to do, I need to have exactly 14 Deku Nuts. I know this sounds really sketchy, like it's one of those old long cheats from a magazine from the 90s, like How to Get Mew or something. But it's just the exact value that we need it to be. I need to have a bottled fish on C right, and I have to have 14 Deku Nuts. And I have to have a bottle on B as an adult. I don't remember if it matters if there's something in the bottle on B as an adult, but I wanted to play it safe and just make sure it was empty, because I know for a fact that one works. And when I travel through time, if all has gone exactly as I've planned, then there should be a nice surprise waiting for us on the other side. Yep, perfect. I now have the boomerang as an adult on the B button. He can throw it in here because it's on the B button. It's invisible when he holds it, but it actually is there when he throws it. It does damage enemies, it works, it's completely functional. And if I just pause the game, it's not actually here. I never collected it as a kid, so that's pretty neat. So what I want to do now that I have this boomerang, is I'm going to go and do Jabu-Jabu's belly as an adult. Now, this is probably the most convoluted trick in the run. I don't even mean the bottle adventure part, I mean the trick that I'm about to do to get into Jabu-Jabu as an adult, because anyone who's played this game before will know that Jabu-Jabu isn't actually there when you're an adult. I think he died during the 7 years, so like he's not there anymore. But that is not going to stop me. I'm getting in there one way or another. So I've got 11 bombs, that's totally okay. How many chews have I got? 23, perfect. I'm going to need some of each of those for this next trick. But before I even get there, I have to head back through Zora's River and get into Zora's Fountain, which I went there earlier to get Furious Wind for the Water Temple, and that's exactly where I'm going to head back to. It would be nice to be able to cut that grass, but I have a boomerang on my B button, so oh well. So yeah, Bottle Adventure let me do this. You can get almost anything on your B button as an adult as a result of this. I think there's some items that don't work. I think the slingshot doesn't work, but most everything else will work. I know the glitch sounds a little complicated, but I will include links in the description which hopefully explain it a little better than I have if I've been bad at it, and should give you like a list of all the things that you can get. So, God, it's turning night again. Right, I want to get in there when it's day so I can clearly see what I'm doing in the next area. So I guess when I get in there I'll just change it to day. Oh, come on, dude, I was so in there. I hate this jump, like I'm so bad at it and it's not even difficult. You know what, forget it, I'm just going to play Zelda's Lullaby. This is just becoming embarrassing now. There's no need for it. I mean, I have the Ocarina now anyway. Also, because I overwrote it in the menu by accident, if I ever equip something over it, I will lose it forever. But obviously I've still got my fish Ocarina, so it's no big deal. But I did sit through a cutscene to get the Fairy Ocarina. I don't want to lose it that easily. So I can just head in now. I won't bother playing the Sun Song until I'm actually in Zora's Fountain. There's no point. So I've never been here as a kid, I don't think. No, I definitely haven't. So the only way we've seen it in this playthrough is when it's all frozen. So of course King Zora is still here. I never moved his fat ass, so I'm gonna have to find a way to get past him. Fortunately, pretty much everything that you can do with the Master Sword, you can also do with the Megaton Hammer. And I really should have unequipped those because they might slow me down here. If I just angle this right, I should be able to get... Is this even the right wall? Yeah, it is. So I'm inside. I can just swim out of bounds over here and head up to the loading zone. Alright then. So, next thing I want to do... Where is... Oh, I'm stupid. I equipped... like, just a minute after saying that I shouldn't do that, I did it. Well, it's no big deal. I can just play the Megaton Hammer. But yeah, the Fairy Ocarina is now... God, where's my fish? Where did it... Oh my god, it swam away. What am I gonna do? I need a fish. I actually do need to get one. Alright, I'm gonna edit this out. So I'm finally back here with not one but two fish. Better to be safe than sorry. I don't want to have a disaster like that happen again. Also, why is there a bottle on the Nairu's Love slot? I don't remember even getting that. I guess that's just a side effect of all the RBA I've done today. But whatever. So the next thing I want to do is go and get this one. Legit. So let's do that. So as I mentioned earlier, Jabu-Jabu is no longer with us. However, the loading zone for him actually is still here. Unfortunately, it's inside this iceberg, and it is very, very difficult to reach. But if you know what you're doing and you do it just right, you can actually get inside there. So let's see, I want to have the bomb chews out. The first thing that you need to do, and this actually is the most important step, is to like come up to the top of this thing and just sort of walk off like this or whatever, so the camera gets like really close to Link like that. This is so important, it's unbelievable. If it's panned out even a little more, then the whole setup will fail because, you know, the visual cues that you're looking for are completely different. So I'm going to get ISG using my hammer and Navi. I did get it, yep. Okay, so now I'm going to put the hammer away so I don't accidentally lose ISG. I'm going to roll into this thing, just so that I'm touching it. I'm going to press Z, I'm going to unpause, or rather unpress Z. I'm going to buffer turning to the right, just so that I know it's perfectly 90 degrees to the right. I'm just going to wait a sec, and back walk in, shield, and roll forward. So this position right here should be the right spot. So what I want to do now is pull out a bomb and count to the 7th flash. So that's 3, that's 4, 5, 6. This one moves a lot quicker than a bomb chew does as well, so you have to buffer it pretty early on. And this is 7, so I'm going to wait for the next blue one. I'm going to shield drop and backflip. Now at this point Link is mere pixels above the water. Had I shield dropped a frame earlier, he would be in the water right now, so he's as low as he can go right now. I'm going to pull out the hook shot so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to pull out a bomb chew and target it after I release it. Okay, when Link turns around, I'm going to press Z, and I'm going to press Z again while walking in here to align with this wall. I'm going to pull out another chew and target it, and I'm just going to not press anything now until it's done. If you're using the hold method of targeting, you have to keep holding Z, obviously, until that's done. I'm using switch though. So now you can see the camera is slowly moving away from Link, it's moving downwards, which is exactly what we want. Had I not done that camera thing at the start on the iceberg, the camera would actually be above the iceberg right now. And although the trick is still possible because everything else is still the same, the visual cues that I'm looking for would be a lot more difficult to notice. So now I'm going to pull out a chew and I'm going to wait for the 7th flash. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and when it gets to the 7th one, I'm going to wait till it gets to its brightest colour, which I think is this. I'm going to count 3 frames from this. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And this frame I'm going to drop it and I'm going to start to hold left a bit on my control stick. Not all the way left, but almost all the way left. And I'm going to pay attention to where the green arrow is. When it's directly between Link's legs, like right in the middle. Which it still isn't. Okay, now that it's here, I'm going to count 2 more frames. So that's 1. And that's 2. I'm going to roll now, and because I was holding left a little bit, he's going to roll to the side. I'm now going to just pause, and I'm going to look for a specific frame. I'll point it out when I get there. Of course, I'm holding R the whole time here. I think it should be the next one. Yeah, so on this frame right here, where he's starting to shield, but the shield is still at his back, I'm going to do a side hop to the left while holding R. And just like that, he clips inside the iceberg just enough to get inside Jabu-Jabu's belly as an adult. And I need to keep the Rang on B so that I can actually kill Baronade, the boss in here, because otherwise you just can't do it. There's no way to damage him without it. So I'm going to quickly go through this dungeon as an adult because it is really quick. You can skip everything, you don't have to even get the boomerang because obviously I've got it. And if I did get the chest with it in it, I wouldn't be able to use it as an adult. So the hover boots also make this pretty quick, so I can just run right over here And let me think, I'm going to want the nuts, and I'm also going to want a fish in a minute. Okay, so take these back off. One cool trick, if you're on top of a switch and you empty out a bottle, and it only works if you already have the full bottle in your hand when you do this, then the little cutscene that plays will be delayed. So if I just do this, Link is now emptying the bottle while the door should be opening. And this means that basically the time for the door thing to reset is much longer, which means I can just walk over and open it. So in this room, let me think, I wonder if I can actually... Where is the switch? I think I'm like blocking it. Yeah, there it is. I wonder if you can hit this with like an arrow instead. Let's find out. That'd be pretty cool. I guess we can't because I'm never going to get a chance with these things in the room. I hate those enemies. They're like one of the worst ones in the game. Okay, you can't. How about the hook shot? Really? Okay then. You can hit it with a boomerang from here, but it's a little tricky. Yeah, you know what? I'm not even going to mess around with this. I'm just going to... Okay, so the hook shot doesn't work there. I'm just going to go up here and just do it the normal way. Because I haven't bothered to learn the specific place and angle you're supposed to have in order to hit it from down there. So we'll just do it like that. With our pseudo-invisible boomerang. Oops. And I've got more than enough hearts that it doesn't really matter anyway, so I can just head straight in here. And already we're at the boss. Something that's kind of weird about this dungeon. On the N64, as you can see, you know, the walls are like really pink/red or whatever. On the Virtual Console version, they're more of a purple colour, which is really weird because as far as I can remember, on the GameCube version they were still the same as they are on N64. It was just on Virtual Console that it got changed. It's pretty strange. So here's Baronade. He is a really easy boss. I have Deku Nuts on C left because they are going to help me do this really quickly. But first I need to use the Rang for this. Okay, let me think. Oh yeah, you have to hit him first, and then throw a Deku Nut. That'll like kill all of these things really quick. Okay, I'm not actually quick, but whatever. Oh yeah, you're supposed to take damage here. I get. Oh no, it's because I've missed one. No, I haven't. Okay, never mind. I did get all of them. No, I didn't. I don't know what's going on here. Whatever. I'll just. Yeah, now it's working. I think I was too quick the last time. Actually, that must have been it. So this is the last phase. I am going to use my Megaton Hammer, I think, to hit this guy. I can. How about a Bomb Chew? Or a Bomb Chew? Like, how are you supposed to damage him? I don't even remember. Because, like, I can't unequip the boomerang. So, take 2 on Baronade. I figured out why I couldn't damage him, and the truth is, I don't really understand it myself. I don't know why it didn't work, but I know the reason that it didn't work, I guess, if that makes sense. Basically, because I damaged his first cycle with Deku Nuts instead of the hammer, I wasn't able to ever damage him again with the hammer. For some reason, the game locks you out of being able to do that. I mean, I realise you're never supposed to get here as Adult Link, so, you know, maybe it's not been programmed properly or whatever, but it still doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But anyway, I know how to do it now. All I have to do differently is on the first phase, this one right here, when he gets up, I stun him with the Rang, and then just hit him with the hammer like that to kill the jellies. And this should make it so that he's actually damageable on the last phase. And again, I really don't understand why it's like this. The second phase you're fine to use nuts on, so I'm just going to do that. I said I'm just going to do that. Okay. So hopefully it should work this time. Yeah, look at this. Why is this happening? Why does it work this time? Or whatever. I've got it going, so it's okay. You have to just take damage there to get him up more quickly. I could switch back to the sword now, I think, but let's just not take any chances here. And that's him dead. At long last. This cutscene is disgusting. I can't believe it's in the game. And I'm going to pick up this heart container just because I need to get something from all of this crap that I've just done. And the cutscene here with Hyrule, obviously you're never supposed to be here as an adult, so it's kind of silly. It's very slowly turning around there. Camera really doesn't know what it's doing. There's going to be a lot more of that spazzing stuff where, you know, Link can't decide if he wants to be big or little in the cutscenes, so I'm going to let this one play. Nice close-up of the black gauntlets. His feet are stuck up there. So now, well not right now, but in a second I'm going to have the Zora's Sapphire legitimately. So that's one other thing I can knock off the list. As soon as she stops talking, she's going to give it to me. It's actually a little faster to pick nothing really here. You still end up getting the stones, so don't be worried about it. When I was a kid I was always worried that if like you picked the wrong option, they just would not give you and you'd have to restart. But no, they're not that cruel. But yeah, the text is a little bit faster if you pick nothing really. So the thing isn't even showing. I don't know, maybe it's like inside his head or something because he's like so big. But yeah, pretty weird cutscene right here. The game just does not seem to know how to handle the adult holding one of the stones, because the same sort of thing happened in the Temple of Time, where when they were supposed to like come out of Link and land on the altar, they just did not appear at all. But anyway, that's one thing taken care of. So the only dungeons left to do now are Dodongo's Cavern, wow. Yeah, Dodongo's Cavern and the Deku Tree, both of which I'm also going to do as an adult. And after that, I think I'll be heading to Ganon's Castle, but there's plenty of stuff to show off in there as well. So I'm going to do a save warp now, and when I reload my file, I won't have the boomerang anymore. It'll go back to being like a Deku Stick on B. So that's alright though, I don't really need it anymore, I just needed it for that boss, but yeah, let's have a look. So there it is. It was already there, but now it's more legit. So anyway, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next video.